Good evening and welcome to the February 23rd, 2015 meeting of the Florissant City Council. Would you all stand and join the council in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Pagano?
Here.
Schmidt?
Here.
Hernandez?
Here.
Lee?
Here.
Jones is absent. Egan?
Here.
Caputa?
Here.
Shildroth?
Here.
Hanky?
Here.
Let the record reflect that a quorum is present. Item number 3, approval of the minutes. Mr. Lee moves to approve the minutes from the February 9th, 2015 meeting. That is seconded by Mr. Shildroth. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The meeting minutes are approved. Item number 4, hearing from citizens. This is the portion of the meeting that if you as citizens would like to make a statement, you're allowed to approach the council and do so. I would ask that if you would fill out a speaker card prior to doing so and hand it to Mr. Hessel, he will pass it to us. Seeing none, we will move along. Item number 5, communication. Clerk, please read the communication.
Email dated February 8th, 2015 from John Engelmeyer regarding appropriation ordinances. Email dated February 12th, 2015 from John Engelmeyer regarding comment cards.
Item number 5, public hearings. And we have no public hearings this evening. Thought we had one.
Nope.
Item number 7, old business. Second readings, bill number 9056. Mr. Hinkie.
I make a motion to postpone this reading at the request of the petitioner.
Mr. Hinkie has made a motion to postpone this meeting at the request of the petitioner. That is seconded by Ms. Pagano. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? One aye and one no. The rest ayes. Motion carries. Okay. Bill 9072. I will make a motion for a second reading on this bill. That is seconded by Mr. Shildroth. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Madam Clerk, please read the bill a second time.
Ordinance to authorize a special use permit to Dinner Lab STL LLC DBA Dinner Lab to allow for the operation of a catering company for the property located at 472 Hattershell Road.
I will make a motion for a third reading on this bill, and that is seconded by Mr. Hernandez. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Clerk, please read the bill for the third, please read the bill for the third time.
Very good. Ordinance to authorize a special use permit to Dinner Lab STL LLC DBA Dinner Lab to allow for the operation of a catering company for the property located at 472 Hattershell Road.
Prior to a final vote being taken on this bill, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
Hanky?
Yes.
Bill 9072 passes and becomes ordinance 8117. Bill 9073. Mr. Lee makes a motion for a second reading on this bill, seconded by Mr. Schmidt. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Clerk, please read the bill.
Ordinance authorizing reimbursement of capital expenditures with proceeds from tax-exempt bonds.
Mr. Caputa makes a motion for a third reading, seconded by Mr. Shildroth. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Madam Clerk, please read the bill.
Ordinance authorizing reimbursement of capital expenditures with the proceeds of tax-exempt bonds.
Prior to a final vote being taken on this bill, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Hernandez? Yes. Lee?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes?
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
Hanky?
Yes.
Bill 9073 passes and becomes ordinance 8118, 8118. Bill 9074. Ms. Pagano makes a motion for a second reading, seconded by Mr. Henke. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Please read the bill.
Ordinance advancing the sum of $1,170,000 from the general fund of the City of Florissant to the court building fund to provide for the purchase of the court building and related costs.
Ms. Pagano makes a motion for a third reading, as seconded by Mr. Caputa. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Clerk, please read the bill for a third time.
Ordinance advancing the sum of $1,170,000 from the general fund of the City of Florissant to the court building fund to provide for the purchase of a court building and related costs.
Prior to a final vote being taken on this bill, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment? Welcome, Your Honor. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Daniel Boyle, and address of 755 Rue St. Francois. Privileged to be here tonight as municipal judge and for the City of Florissant, representing that branch of government this evening. First of all, thank you all very much for the efforts here. As I've mentioned to you before, because of our size as the largest municipality in St. Louis County, because of our location on some of the busiest roads in St. Louis County, we have one of the busiest courts, not only in St. Louis County, but in the state. Prior to even me becoming a judge, back in Judge Kelly's time, there was efforts to find a more permanent, larger facility in order to hold court and to have our offices in one location. I want to thank the mayor, the administration, and especially our good friend Mr. Russell for their hard efforts to locate a facility. And we believe that this facility they found will be sufficient for us, not only for space, for holding court, but having our court records and our court offices all in one location, rather than having to always pack everything up to go to court and then pack everything up after court. We also have adequate parking and adequate space for, I believe, other uses for the police in some of their space as well. So this really solves an issue that has been in front of the city for actually quite some time, and again, through the mayor's taking the lead on this, and with Bob Russell's assistance, we've been able to find a place that we believe is suitable and appropriate for the municipal courts going forward.
Thank you. Would you remain there for just a minute, Your Honor? Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Egan. Judge, thank you for being here tonight. And I guess as much for the public as anybody else, this is something that the mayor and the council have been working on for a long time, and when the opportunity became available for this property, we've been quietly working to get this done, and yeah, I know we've all worked hard on it. Mayor and his staff has really worked hard to get it done. But Judge, we've had some discussions about this in closed session, and I think just a couple of things I'd like you to reiterate is that this facility is something that's going to take our courts long into the future. We're out of space in the small spaces we have now for files and things, and this is just going to give us something for the long into the future, correct?
Correct. By state statute, we have to keep records back over 50 years, and so we have already filled the government center completely, and that's just what we have now. So going forward, we'll be able to take all those records to one place. That'll be adequate storage, give us room to grow, and that's a big help as well.
And we're currently holding court at the community center at JFK. That's working out although I know we all are going to be happy to get it out of that facility. And then, Mayor, would you comment on what we're going to do this summer during the summer camp program?
Yeah, we are fortunate to have a cooperative relationship with the Ferguson-Florissant School District, and we they use the swimming pool and the soccer field over at the Egan Center, and they paid a nominal fee for that. And I asked them if we could have a trade-off where we could use the Cross Keys Middle School gymnasium during the months of June and July and just trade off the expenses for the swimming pool and the soccer field, and they were very happy to do that. And then I know Mr. Egan was very happy to have the court not be at JFK so that it won't interfere with our baseball. That's our only varsity baseball field. We have another field at Dunnigan, which is a practice field, but the game field is at Koch. And of course, we have the Koch Aquatic Center, and we have all the day camp activities which interfere with day court. So we're very happy to have that relief in July and June, and then we'll be back in JFK in August. But hopefully shortly thereafter, we'll be able to move into what used to be Dick Weber bowling lanes.
Mr. Lee, you have anything else?
Just one other note is that for the public, we are purchasing this building outright, and there is an additional $10 fee that the judge can levy against violators through the court, and that funds will then come back into the city to basically reimburse for the expenditures due to some changes in state law and some things that have been done. So I think it was a very wise thing. I think the judge is happy, and I know the council and the mayor are tickled to death. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yeah, Judge, could you just maybe expand on the requirements to have enough space to accommodate not only the defendant but their friends and family? And that was one of the reasons that compelled us to move to JFK, why we need so much room for court.
Well, certainly. With any court, it's supposed to be open to the public within reasonable restrictions, but also open. When we would have court here, even in this largest facility, we would still have, on our busiest nights, people lined up down the sidewalk. We could not get everyone in here. And that's, you've got concern about weather, you've got concern about people having access to quote-unquote open courts if they're not able to get in. And so with this facility, much like where we are at JFK, we have ample room. Everybody can get inside. We don't have people waiting in the cold, in the heat, in the rain to get into court. And I'll acknowledge up front, nobody's really happy to come to traffic court. Nobody really cheers and says, thank you very much, I'm glad I'm here. So we just try and do the best we can to make it an atmosphere where they're able to move through relatively quickly. And so having this space will help address that. And to go back to Mr. Lee's point, because the Missouri state statutes were amended, there is a provision allowing for court costs that can help defer the costs on this. And so that was actually a change in Missouri law that will allow for this.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is there anyone else in the courtroom that would like to make comment on this before a final vote is taken? I do want to say that I've been a pain to the mayor on this. We're currently using the JFK Center, which is located just outside of my ward. I've received numerous complaints from people who felt that the use of the gymnasium has been hampered because of the court. And candidly, that is not an ideal place for court. It's not designed with safety features in place for your staff and yourself, and for the other employees at the Civic Center, as well as the other residents and the people that are attending there. So I'm very, very happy we're moving along with this tonight. And thank you. Clerk,
Thank you to the council.
please poll the council. Oh.
Oh, you did have somebody wanting to.
Before we poll the council, is there anyone that would like to make comment?
Yes, sir.
And your address?
Kevin O'Donnell, 512 Rancho Lane. My problem's not with what Judge Boyle said. It's just that we couldn't hear it back there. I mean, it was very difficult to hear. I moved up right underneath the speaker, and I still couldn't hear it. And I don't know if I'm coming through loud enough or not or anything, but it was even, Mr. Lee was even difficult to hear. It's like the volume's turned down here, and I just want to make that part of the record, please. Thank you.
Thank you. So noted. Clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Hernandez? Lee? Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
Hanky?
Yes.
Bill number 9074 passes and becomes ordinance 8119, 8119. Bill number 9075. Mr. Schmidt moves for a second reading on this bill, seconded by Mr. Hinkie. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Clerk, please read the bill the second time.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Florissant to enter into a purchase and sale agreement for the purchase of the property hereinafter described and known as 4575 Washington Street for the use as a new court facility.
Mr. Shildroff makes a motion for a third reading, seconded by Mr. Caputa. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Please read the bill.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Florissant to enter into a purchase and sale agreement for the purchase of the property hereinafter described and known as 4575 Washington Street for the use as a new court facility.
Prior to a final vote being taken on this bill, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Hernandez? Lee?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
Hanky?
Yes.
Bill 9075 passes and becomes ordinance 8120, 8120. Bill 9076. Mr. Shildroff makes a motion for a second reading, seconded by myself. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Madam Clerk, please read the bill.
Ordinance amending Title II, Chapter 210 offenses by adding a new section 210506 regarding the regulation of the and sale of and possession of the vapor products.
Mr. Shildroff makes a motion for a third reading, seconded by Mr. Lee. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, one moment, please. Mr. Shildroff.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just would like to thank Sergeant Mike Mahaffey for researching this issue and bringing this to our attention. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor for a third reading? Aye. Opposed? Please read the bill a third time.
Ordinance amending Title II, Chapter 210 offenses by adding a new section 210506 regarding the regulation of the sale and possession of vapor products.
Prior to a final vote being taken on this bill, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
Hanky?
Yes.
Bill 9076 passes and becomes ordinance 8121, 8121. Agenda item 8, new business, board appointments. Mr. Caputa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, I would like to reappoint Gene Nolcamper to the Minimum Standards Boards of Appeal.
Mr. Lee makes a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The appointment is made. Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to appoint Jules Blair from Ward 2 to the Environmental Quality Commission.
I'll make that motion, seconded by Mr. Shildroff. All in favor? Aye. The appointment carries. Request out of Ward 3. Request for a transfer of special use permit number 7949 from Caslick Restaurant, DBA Caslick, to JB&W LLC, DBA Tropical Grill for location and operation of a carry-out restaurant located at 8141 North Limburg. I will make the motion for that request, seconded by Ms. Pagano. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And the request carries. Bills for first reading. Bill number 9077.
Ordinance authorizing a transfer of special use permit number 7942 from Cusleek Restaurant Incorporated DBA Cusleek to JB&W LLC DBA Tropical Grill for the location and operation of a carry-out restaurant located at 8141 North Limburg.
Bill 9078.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Florissant to enter into a user agreement for dispatch equipment for the interoperable radio system with the St. Louis County, Missouri.
Agenda item number 9, council announcements. Mr. Lee.
Yep.
You
I
got to
just
give
wanna-
me a second. It takes me
I
a
know,
second to work
new
this,
equipment.
this high-tech equipment in my fat little fingers.
I know.
Mr. Lee.
Well, I'm sure the cold doesn't have anything to do with it either, so. I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank the city employees for these past couple of snows that we've had. Way back in '75, I worked for the street department, and I remember what it was like getting out in the middle of the night and plowing snow and doing that stuff, and they've just done really an outstanding job. We haven't had a lot of snow this year, but the last couple here, they've really gotten on top of it quickly, so I really know that we all appreciate their efforts. I also wanted to announce that on March the 8th, Sunday, March the 8th, is the Old Town Partners Annual Pancake Breakfast. That's going to be at the Old Town Wedding Chapel from 8 till 12, and I encourage everybody to come out and have some pancakes and sausage, and it's a really good fundraiser for Old Town Partners. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Mr. Caputa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, I would like to remind people about starting their cars in the morning. There's been a lot of thefts around St. Louis area. People starting their cars. I know it's good to get in a warm car in the morning, but be aware of starting your cars and leaving unattended. Been having a rash of vehicle thefts that way. And also I would like to say, get a little shout out to the Duchesne Grade School. The 6th graders came to St. Louis Job Corps about a week and a half ago, and the 6th grade class visited my cement mason shop. They were a very good group of kids. They asked a lot of intelligent questions that had to do with construction. They really impressed me. So I like to say it was a good little tour for them and a little informative for them too, seeing some of the people that are in Job Corps. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caputa. Mr. Hinkie.
Yeah, I'd just like to piggyback or back up what Tim Lee was saying. Councilman Lee was talking about the Old Town Partners Pancake Breakfast. They're also soliciting, I guess would be the proper word, for some sponsorships. This is a fundraiser for Old Town Partners, and they do a tremendous amount of good in this city, and they have sponsorships available for the Pancake Breakfast at $25, $50, $7,500 sponsorships. So if anybody can see it in their hearts to sponsor it a little bit more, it's for a good cause for the Old Town Partners. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Hinkie. I just have a couple items. Mr. O'Donnell, some of the noise problems, maybe my fat fingers missing the appropriate buttons is a new system we're still getting used to. Hopefully we'll get the bugs worked out in the next couple of meetings. The St. Ferdinand Barbecue, Charity Barbecue, it begins this Saturday and Sunday. We'll run barbecue from about 11 o'clock on until we get tired of cooking barbecue. This year our recipient for our donation will be Aaron Grace from Team Grace. If you have time, look that up on the internet. Aaron is a 4-year-old who was born with Down syndrome and has been diagnosed with cancer. So her and her family will receive all the benefits from this month-long barbecue and basketball tournament. I believe we will be featured on Channel 5 on Thursday and Channel 2 very early on Saturday morning. The Police Explorers, Florissant Police Explorers will be having their annual trivia night. Did I just steal your thunder, Mayor? No. Okay, March 14th is their annual trivia night. If you would like to get a table, you may call the Florissant Police Department 831-7000 and ask for Officer D. Hart. Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I know that we'll have competition from the city of Overland. My cousin Mike Schneider will have a couple tables, so we'll have a couple tables, and hopefully we'll have Florissant victory that night. It's going to be a lot of. No.
Who won last
No,
year?
you get the questions, right?
I do.
Where do you?
I
Where do
can
you keep
bribe
those?
as well.
We're not going to tell anybody.
No.
We welcomed a new superintendent for Ferguson-Florissant School District a couple weeks ago. We have Dr. Joseph Davis is the new superintendent of the Ferguson-Florissant School District. We're all excited. Several of us got to meet him. I know Mr. Lee was there. I think a couple other council members were there to greet Dr. Davis. And I'd also like to just congratulate the president of the school board, Rob Chabot. I think they made an excellent choice. They did an extensive searched the whole country, and Dr. Davis comes to us from one of the Carolinas, I believe, right? And I'd also like to say a personal thank you to Larry LaRue. Larry is a very unselfish person, and he filled in as the interim superintendent. The guy did a wonderful job, made it clear from the get-go that he did not want the job, but did a wonderful effort to keep the school district going forward. Even having a tax increase without an acting superintendent, without a full-time superintendent, Larry LaRue was able to get that tax increase passed on his watch. So I want to give a special congratulations to Larry LaRue, a person without a lot of ego, a guy that just does things for the district first. I'd like to congratulate all the new barbecue places that are coming, but we did open one. Fat Boys opened in Ward 5, and it had a ribbon cutting back on February 12th, and has pretty well attended, and been there since, and the food tastes pretty good. Got some hungry folks here in Florissant. The seniors had their Valentine's dance on Friday, February 13th. That was very well attended. They had a good time. Everybody behaved. And then coming up in the future, we have on Friday, March 6th, the Party on the Ice. That's the spring event for the DARE students from 5th to 8th grade. That event, along with Splish Splash in the summertime at Coke Park, the Halloween party in October, and then, of course, the ancient Project Liftoff at the Egan Center at Christmas time. There's 4 main events that our DARE officers promote for the 5th through 8th grades. If you really want to have a good time, join me on Friday, March 6th. I'd like to invite the council members to join me. The kids will just energize you. Then the next night, kids, a little bit older kids, will be dressing up for the Mayor's Shamrock Ball. Put on your best green and join Mayor Dorr from Bellefonte Neighbors, Mayor Knowles from Ferguson, Mayor Robinson from Hazelwood, and Mayor McCourt from Blackjack, and myself. We'll have top hat, tails, and sash for our great Irish bash. It's going to be a real good time over at the formerly called the Delmar Gardens Complex on Parker Road. And it's going to benefit Valley Industries, the shelter workshop that used to be in Florissant, now it's in Hazelwood. It's another organization that benefits from the Florissant License Office, run by the Florissant Rotary. More on that in a minute. Then we have, Mr. Egan already talked about the trivia night for the Explorer Scouts on the 14th. Then at the Egan Center, we'll have the Greater North County Chamber Business Fair and the Taste of North County on Saturday, March 21st from 10 to 2. That's going to be a big deal. I'm going to be traveling to Jefferson City tomorrow to join our lobbyist, Tim Green, and several other mayors. The City of Chesterfield has orchestrated some hostile legislation that's going to negatively affect the City of Florissant and a lot of other municipalities in St. Louis County. It's going to benefit very few, and I'll be up there to testify against their legislation. And while I'm up there, I'm also going to visit the governor's office And Mr. President, Council President Egan and I have signed a letter, and I'm just going to read a few paragraphs of it. And this is a personal, professional, and heartfelt appeal to Governor Nixon in behalf of the Florissant License Office, run by the Florissant Rotary, regarding 20 years of efficient, appreciated, and prompt service to the residents of Florissant Valley and 20 years of philanthropy to those in need in North County. We're making a personal appeal to the governor to recognize that Florissant Rotary License Office renewal is an example of a near-perfect public/nonprofit partnership, efficiently fulfilling a public need and at the same time serving individuals who are in need of assistance from society. There's absolutely no possible way that the state of Missouri could use the small increase in revenue that they would get from another vendor and redirect it back to serve the public and provide even a fraction of the benefit now being distributed by Florissant Rotary to assist our most at-risk individuals. We are again asking the governor to use the wisdom gained from his many years and his parents' many years of public service to recognize the soundness of rewarding the Florissant Rotary for their selfless service. We ask that he use the leadership that he has been given by the citizens of Missouri to use this as an opportunity to make an immediate positive impact and give certain hope to some of those who have been hurt the most by recent events in our region. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before I close in for the adjournment this evening, I received some sad news before I came here tonight. A longtime Florissant resident and Circuit Court Judge, the Honorable Larry Kendrick, who is my neighbor and my friend, passed away this evening. I would ask that you all keep the Kendrick family in your prayers as we proceed through this next few days, and Florissant has lost a good man. That being said, Mr. Shildroff motions for an adjournment that is seconded by Mr. Lee. The next meeting of the Florissant City Council will be March 9th, 2015. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The council will stand